afternoon. We will call our Monday, August 10th meeting for the August 10th, 2026 Carver Heights Montclair CRA Commission Meeting to order. Would you please stand for the invocation and the pledge? Heavenly Father, we come before you today representing one Leesburg. Help us to lead with kindness, to speak with respect, to listen with an open mind, and to stand together even when the world feels uncertain around us. Bless this commission, this community, and every resident we serve. Let our work this evening be rooted in purpose, truth, and guided by integrity, and a reflection of your grace. All this we ask in your precious name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we have approval of our minutes of April
I'll make a motion to
April
approve the
13th
minutes
meeting.
from
Yes.
April 13th, 2026.
motion and roll call, please.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Connor?
Yes.
Commissioner Burry?
Yes.
Chairperson Barry?
Yes. Would someone please introduce resolution 3.3A?
I'll introduce Resolution 3A to be read by title only.
Resolution of the Carver Heights Montclair Area Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Leesburg, Florida, approving home improvement grant award agreements for 11 recipients in the Carver Heights Montclair Community Redevelopment Area and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mayor, may I ask the housing representative to come up? Can I do that?
Sure. I would just like them commission comments if we could. Does anyone have any comments?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I think it's great.
You would like to ask?
Yes, I would like for the housing director to come up, please. Ms. Wilson, I just would like to have from you the 11 recipients that have been approved for the home housing grant. If you can just provide me with a copy of that.
It
was in the packet.
Okay, I didn't get a package. I did not receive it.
Okay, we'll get it to you.
Okay, we're good?
That was all you needed. Okay. No comments? Can we do roll call then? Andy?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Connor?
Roll call.
Yes.
Commissioner Burry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Chairperson Barry?
Yes. Would someone please introduce resolution 3B?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only.
Excuse me. Resolution of the Carver Heights Montclair Area Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the advertisement for disposition of surplus Carver Heights Montclair Area CRA-owned lots in accordance with the surplus lot donation policy and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Are there any comments from the commission?
I just want to reiterate the Lake Hollywood, just that we hold that until
Yes.
that project is complete, and then we can dispose of that property.
Yes. Are there any further comments with anyone? Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Connor?
Yes.
Commissioner Burry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Chairperson Barry?
Yes. Are there any comments or questions further? If not, may I get a motion?
I'll get a motion to
Roll call, please.
roll call, yeah.
Roll call. Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Reisman?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Connor,
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Bury,
Nothing tonight.
Chairperson Barry.
Nothing tonight. If not, I have a
Make a
motion.
motion to end the meeting.
Second.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Good evening. We will call our Monday, August 10th, 2026 Commission meeting to order. Our invocation and our pledge has already been given at the Carver Heights CRA and Montclair CRA meeting. I would like to take a moment, please, to acknowledge the passing of one of our policemen, Sergeant John Hollowell, for 24 years of service. If we could please express our condolences, we'd like to express our condolences to his family and to the police staff. If you would take a brief moment of silence, please, may we? Thank you. Moving on with our meeting, we have no proclamations at this time. Should we wait on the end? Is a representative for Cobb here? Nan Cobb? Is anyone here? Okay. So we'll go on and we have our audit presentation. Joel Knob, please.
Good evening, Mayor, City Commissioners. Pleasure to be here. My name is Joel Knopp, and I'm partner with Forvis Mazars, and here just to present very briefly the audit for the fiscal year ended September 30, 2025. I do want to point out in our required communications, if you could scroll to the next slide there, that there were no audit adjustments, which is a good indicator that the financial controls for the city are working appropriately and that there were no adjustments needed to the financials. Just real quickly, I just want to summarize the results of our audit, which were our audit opinions. We gave a clean opinion or unmodified opinion on the financials, so the numbers are presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. And then we also looked at controls over financial reporting and compliance, as well as controls over the major federal grant that we tested for the city, as well as a state grant, and those were also clean reports. If you could go to the next slide. And there were two reports required by the Auditor General. These deal with investment compliance as well as other general matters that the state requires us to look at, also clean reports. So good results for the city. Under the financial highlights, I'll leave that really for your all's diving into the details, but overall from a financial position standpoint, the city was in good shape at the end of fiscal year 25, well positioned going forward, as well as spent within its budget that was adopted by the commission, which is also a key compliance requirement. So those are really the prepared remarks, as I know you all have a busy agenda, but I'd be glad to answer any questions you all have.
No questions at this time.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Knob. Moving on to public comments. At this time, the public may bring matters to the City Commission's attention. We will not discuss issues raised during this time. We will refer your comments to the appropriate staff or schedule them for consideration at a future City Commission meeting. If you're speaking about an item that will be considered later in the meeting, your comments will be heard during public limit to ensure equal opportunity for all participants. Are there any public comments at this time? If so, please come up and state your name and address.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Realtor Damani Nettles. I reside at 1416 Griffin Road, Leesburg, Florida, apartment 25. And I'm here tonight because I was disappointed to see the commission vote 1-4 against making Juneteenth a paid holiday for the city employees. I want to be clear, this isn't about putting one holiday above another. It's about recognizing the full history of American freedom that my people fought so hard for to be free in this country, where they celebrate independence from Britain, but they still had my people in shambles. On July 4th, we celebrate the day America declared its independence in 1776, but at the time, hundreds of thousands of black people in the country were still enslaved. The freedom being declared did not yet include everyone. Juneteenth recognized June 19th, 1865, when enslaved people in Texas learned that they were free. It represents another important chapter in American history, the expansion of the promise of liberty to the people who had been denied it. So my question for the commission is simple. If we recognize and provide paid holidays that celebrate American freedom, why shouldn't we give serious consideration to the day that represent freedom from slavery? This isn't about Black history versus American history, because at the end of the day, Black history is American history. Juneteenth is American history, and recognition means more. When our policies reflect our words, we can celebrate July the 4th and Juneteenth. One recognize the birth of our nation, and the other remind us that it took generations from promise of freedom to reach more Americans. Both parts of American story, and both deserves respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nettles.
Good evening to Mayor Berry and to our commissioners today, and to our city manager. My name is Deborah Connolly Snow, and I stand with a heartfelt sincerity and deep respect for you and for the city that we both care about. My family story and all of our family story is deeply woven into the history, into the fabric of this city. My brother in 1986 was the first Black city commissioner elected in this area. In addition to that, in 1989, my brother David L. Connolly became the first Black mayor. So there's a lot of history that we stand as individuals here in this meeting. So I'm not an outsider speaking. I'm speaking as an educator, as a resident of this city, and as someone whose family has poured love, labor, and legacy into this city. I speak as a concerned citizen, and I would like you to recognize the fact that we have clergy, we have members of the community, we have sorority members, fraternity members, we have church folk, we have individuals who are interested in the discussion that we are going to present. I'm asking for a private meeting with our city manager to discuss the July 13 decision to designate New Year's Eve as a paid holiday rather than Juneteenth. I understand the intention to acknowledge the economic value that Bike Fest brings to our city. However, this decision to disregard the significance of Juneteenth perhaps unintentionally overlooks the profound historical and cultural significance of Juneteenth. Juneteenth is not simply a day off. It's a national, federally recognized holiday that commemorates the end of slavery in the United States. It honors the freedom, resilience, and enduring contributions of Black Americans to our city and our nation. When this holiday is set aside or replaced, it sends a message, intended or not intended, that this history and those contributions are less valued. Leesburg has always prided itself on becoming welcoming, inclusive, and forward-looking as a community. So today, I would be greatly honored if we, as a committee, as a group, I'm being the spokesperson, can have a meeting, a private meeting with the city manager so that we can discuss this issue or this concern further. And if the city manager would acknowledge that at a later time, I would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Snow. Are there any further comments?
Sure, great, thank you. Hello. Anna Martinez, 8735 Spring Court, Leesburg, 34788. First, I respectfully request that my concerns and the following be entered into the official minutes of this meeting. My property did not have a history of flooding before the construction of Morningside Reserve across the road from my neighborhood on CR 44. Since the construction, our neighborhood has experienced drainage issues, including water flowing into our driveway and cul-de-sac. My home is at the very end of the street, making my property particularly vulnerable to additional runoff. I also want the record to reflect that my property now is prone to flooding under the current drainage conditions and cannot be simply raised to address future drainage problems. I ask the City of Leesburg, Florida, reach out to this developer and address this issue, as it is not acceptable and needs to be corrected before homes are built, limiting the amount of water for that property to absorb and cause even more flooding into our neighborhood. Just so that you understand, it literally, the entrance of Morningside Reserve leads right into our property, Spring Court, in Silver Lake Springs. Our neighbors have their driveways and their grass full of orange sand. My driveway was already pressure cleaned by the developer a few years back when they first started the development because of how bad it is. I have video that reflects vehicles driving on 44 and the orange clay just going over the vehicle. Honestly, my concern is the two homes that are there in that corner. We had two beautiful oak trees that were removed because they ended up moving the road towards Silver Lake Springs. I'm concerned of a major accident and a vehicle going to one of those homes. It's not my home, it's my neighbor's. But my driveway now is getting flooded and it's stained, and the developer at 44 ended up driving by my neighborhood and acknowledged the clay on my property. So please, I ask that you address this with that neighborhood because we don't want flooding in our neighborhoods. Thank you.
Any further comments from anyone, please?
All right. Greetings, Mayor, Commissioners, and City Manager. My name is Fred Griffin Jr., and I'm 5921 Winsong Oak Drive in Leesburg. During the recent budget meeting, the addition of paid holidays was discussed. During that discussion, Mayor Berry raised a possibility of adding Juneteenth as an additional holiday and questioned whether the employees have been given an opportunity to weigh in. As an entrepreneur, that's one of the things that's big on my list of making sure that my employees are happy and they are considered in any decision that I make on the behalf of the company. To my surprise, I learned that 64% of the employees within the city of Leesburg staff did not have the opportunity to say whereabout they wanted that holiday to go to. So therefore, I'm respectfully requesting that the votes regarding the Juneteenth holiday be reconsidered and to do a further survey with your employees. That would give them an opportunity to weigh in and then also further move with you all making the decision. I also respectfully request that this matter be placed on the agenda for discussion at the next meeting, and that survey should be presented then with transparency and accountability for the employees and for you all, who you all represent here in the city of Leesburg. Thank you for your consideration for this request and for ensuring that employees and all your residents have the opportunity to voice their opinions and their concerns. Thank you.
Excuse me, I'm Pastor John Christian, 903 County Road 468. We had a Zoom call last night where Ms. Snow was our spokesperson, and we kind of didn't want 25 or 30 people to come up for 3 minutes each, Mayor Berry. So just so we can ease our minds, could the commission, and agree with Ms. Milner, meeting with Ms. Snow and the committee sometime this week, and hopefully as Mr. Griffin kind of acknowledge that we can have a reconsideration at the next commission meeting. So I think if you can kind of nod just to say, okay, that's great, I think you'll probably have less people coming up saying the same thing, because that was the request, that we meet with Al and kind of have reconsideration at the August 24th commission meeting.
And thank you, Mr. Christian. I would like to continue with whoever will have comments. Are there many more? Oh, go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Yes, my name is Randy Hepburn. I'm a lifelong resident of Leesburg. I'm gonna let the shirt speak for me, Commissioner. I know everybody can read up there what that shirt says. We are Leesburg.
Yes.
So, thank you. Let the shirt speak for itself.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Hepburn. There's no further comments at this time then. We'll move on with
Holy Spirit, fall fresh upon me. My name is Ralph L. Coleman Sr., and I reside at 5602 Winsong Oak Drive in Leesburg. I was raised in the city of Leesburg, retired from the United States Air Force, and from the state of Florida. Now, it literally broke my heart in the African American community when the Leesburg City Commissioners decided to overlook Juneteenth as an annual holiday and instead select the Bike Fest, which is not guaranteed to succeed, and New Year's Eve, an immoral night for many. When Leesburg City Commissioners voted to recognize Bike Fest and New Year's Eve as annual celebration instead of Juneteenth, many members of the African American community felt both stunned and deeply hurt. Juneteenth marks the day in 1865 when the last enslaved people in the United States learned they were free, and for generations it has been a sincere, proud reminder of resilience, struggle, and the long arc toward justice. To set it aside in favor of a motorcycle rally that may not endure a holiday that some view as morally troubling felt like a dismissal of that history and the people who carry it. Juneteenth marks a moment of deep significance in American history. Juneteenth began as a quiet, powerful moment of relief and renewed hope. For decades, Juneteenth remained a small holiday celebrated in Galveston, Texas, by the African American community. On June 19th, 1865, news reached Galveston, Texas, that enslaved people were free 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. For decades, the date was observed locally. Those early celebrations were rooted in history and in collective memories. Over time, Juneteenth felt setbacks. After the Reconstruction ended in 1877, the rise of Jim Crow laws made public celebration dangerous. African Americans were targeted for minor things like loitering or idleness, and the resurgence of the Ku Klux Klan, along with economic pressure from industrial labor, made it harder for people to set aside time for a communal observance. In 1938, Texas took the first step by recognizing Juneteenth as a state holiday, but widespread recognition remained limited. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and the 1960s demanded immediate attention and sacrifice, and Juneteenth observance decreased, and even as the struggle for justice intensified. Go ahead.
In continuation, I'm Edna J. Coleman, 5602 Windsong Oak Drive, Leesburg, Florida. I, too, am a United States Air Force vet. I've been in the healthcare field for over 51 years. In continuation, today, as communities decide which days to honor with official city holidays, the choice carries meaning beyond scheduling. Recognizing Bike Fest on New Year's Eve as a new city holiday may celebrate popular events, but it also risks sidelining the deeply rooted historical and emotional significance of Juneteenth. For many African American residents, Juneteenth is not merely a date on a calendar. It is a marker of ancestral suffering, deaths, survival, and the long arc toward justice. An official city holiday can acknowledge that history, validate those experiences, and invite all residents to learn and reflect. When the city government chooses which holidays to elevate, it signals which histories and feelings it centers. They send messages about what they value. Apparently, Leesburg City Commissioners failed to recognize that Black lives matter. We strongly urge that you, the city commissioners, the mayor of Leesburg, not emulate the resurgence of Jim Crow laws and the Ku Klux Klan in your efforts to recognize Juneteenth as a national holiday in the city of Leesburg. Again, please reconsider your decision. Acknowledging Juneteenth annually could offer a space for education, remembrance, and most importantly, community healing. It would honor those who endured injustice and those who labored to secure freedom while helping the whole city confront its past with honesty. Is it that difficult for you to understand that honoring Juneteenth provides more than a day off? It creates an annual opportunity to deepen understanding, celebrate cultural heritage, and reaffirm a shared commitment to equality. For a community that aims to be inclusive and historically aware, adding Juneteenth to the calendar recognizes both the past and the promise of a more equitable future. Making Juneteenth a yearly city holiday rooted in African American history is an opportunity to show that the city values truth, empathy, and inclusion. Finally, don't tarnish the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, who was murdered for the cause of freedom, or that of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who also battled and died for the rights of freedom. Mr. Minor and committee, as the city manager, Mr. Minor, we'd like, again, to ask you to schedule a meeting with us so that we can discuss this issue further and in more detail. Thank you for your time, for your attention, and we pray that the Holy Spirit guides and blesses you with every decision you make concerning our community. Thank you.
Good evening. Dr. Erica Jasper. I just want to echo the sentiments of Ms. Deborah Snow and many others tonight. We would like to schedule a meeting with the city manager just to reconsider the vote if possible, as we've heard the messages that has gone forth, but we just want to be united on the united front as well. So I just thank you for your time and thank you for your consideration as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jasper. Oh, there's no further comments. We will move on. Now that we have our House representative here, Representative Nan Cobb, would you please come forward, please? Representative District 26 Legislative Award. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commission. It is my honor and my pleasure once again to come before the City of Leesburg to give you appropriations for the city. Last year, we graciously got, and we were very blessed to get the appropriations for over at the boat dock. And this year we were blessed to get the appropriations for the parking improvement plan. And I will tell you, it was a little back and forth. It was a difficult session again. And I will tell you, just on a side note, they're not here with us tonight, but Gray Robinson, Angela, and Ryan, rock stars. We work well as a team together. We tag team them, we tag with them, we also tag the appropriations chairs, the speakers, the Senate, and Senator Truenow couldn't be here with us tonight. So, but if not for him as well, it takes both sides to get these things done. And so we would like to do a check presentation for you all tonight for the amount of $350,000. Yeah, so we are very proud to do that. And would it be okay if we took a picture with you all and did a presentation? Thank you. Ready?
All of us.
No. And if you just want to stand up, whatever's convenient, whatever's convenient. And I would just like to follow up that, don't forget, session starts, we start committees in November, so let us know and get your appropriations in so we can bring the bacon home one more time for Leesburg, all right? Thank you all so much.
Thank you again.
It's my pleasure. I just see my purse.
Seeing that there's no more comments, we're moving on to the consent agenda. Routine items are placed on the consent agenda to expedite the meeting. If the commission staff wish to discuss any item, the procedure is as follows. 1, pull the items from the consent agenda, vote on the remaining items with 1 roll call vote, and discuss each pulled item and vote by roll call. Are there any items the commission would like to pull this evening?
Yes, 5B1. I was going to say the same thing.
5B1. Is there anything else?
Motion to approve the remaining consent agenda?
Second.
Would someone please? And, well, I'm going to wait till that's like Thursday.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Mayor Berry?
Yes. I was asking, can we ask her to sing them? Excuse me, would you please lower your voices or close the door? I was trying to wait to continue. Let's move on. Would you, someone please introduce
I'll introduce
5C1, please?
I'll introduce 5B1 to be read by title only.
5B1.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a construction services agreement with Nitty Sports Construction Company, LLC, for the design, build, construction of pickleball courts for an amount not to exceed $1,395,000 and providing an effective date.
For approval?
Second. Yeah, I'm the one who pulled this. I'm pretty sure other commissioners might have pulled it as well. We've got a situation here with in summary, the rankings are very, very close. And, we've got a local company. So what I would like the commission to consider, and I will make the motion to reject staff's recommendation on the contract at $1,395,000 and go with the local contractor, ECO, at a price about $400,000 less and within budget of $1 million.
Second.
We've got a motion on the floor first.
Oh,
So
wait.
why don't you, if there's a motion and
To
a
amend.
second,
No, what are we gonna
we, actually, you probably need to vote on the motion on the floor and then come back and make another motion.
That
Is that
might
the
work,
cleanest
yeah. I
way?
mean, that probably would be the cleanest thing to do under the circumstances, yeah.
All right.
The other option
So-
would be amending, but I think that probably is cleaner.
Right, so there's a motion.
And I didn't mean to make a motion. I was laying the groundwork for a motion.
We got you, but why don't you just make it clear, and there's a motion on the floor to give the contract to Needy. Once you all vote on that.
Well, how about some discussion on
I have
whether
some
we even want to move
discussion, too.
forward to even
Yeah.
do this?
Yeah, I'd like to have questions as well. That's what I was asking.
Go ahead, Mayor. I'll
No,
wait.
I'm waiting on you. Go ahead.
On the pickleball courts, I mean, the staff's recommended awarding the contract for $1,395,000. I understand there's another contractor that has bid for $983,000. My concern is this: either way, you're talking about $1 million. For something I don't necessarily know we need any more pickleball courts. There's 12 pickleball courts already at Pear Park. We have 4 tennis courts down there now. Well, the tennis courts can be converted, if you will, with some striping to be dual purpose. They can be tennis courts or pickleball courts. You can get 4 pickleball courts and 1 tennis court. So even if you just took 2 of the 4 tennis courts and put some striping on there, they can still be used for tennis, and you could get 8 pickleball courts out of it. And I think the $1 million could be used for much better purposes in the city than building additional pickleball courts. Like I said, we already have 12 at Pear Park. We could convert a couple of the tennis for dual purpose, and you could get 8 of them down there, still could be used for tennis or pickleball, and 2 of them would strictly still be just tennis courts. The city also provides indoor pickleball twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at our gym. We had an indoor pickleball court in town, which my understanding is no longer in business. I can't say why, but maybe for the lack of people actually wanting to play pickleball. I would recommend not moving forward, getting an estimate to convert 2 of our pickleball court or tennis courts into dual purpose courts, And
Would you please silence your phones? Thank you.
so take two of the tennis courts, restripe them so they could be dual purpose. You could get 8 pickleball courts out of there. I don't know how much that's going to cost, but I would not think even remotely close to $1 million. And reallocate that money towards something else, like maybe improving our roads. So I'd like the commission to consider just maybe getting an estimate to repurpose a couple of the tennis courts to 8 pickleball courts. And we're not losing anything. And like I said, we already have 12 of them at Pear Park. And the city provides pickleball services twice a week at our gym for anybody else who wants to play indoors.
I had just a few questions just to follow through. This was as far back as the original plans for the pickleball was what year? 20?
Last year budget
24,
session.
24, 25 budget session. And with this, the area is still on the corner of Palmetto and Meadows. I just want to be clear that how will this, with the construction that will continue to go on, what's the difference in between of where the structured houses will be from the pickleball court? I could not gather that to see the location.
There's no conflict with the forward paths donation.
Right, I was just saying with the
So
distance.
I think that's where you were headed. So the concept as proposed was to do as many pickleball courts as we can north of the shuffleboard courts. It would be north of what the Lakefront TV building
Oh, so
is
to
right
that
now.
building or to the
North of that, no, it would be north of that.
Okay.
Okay, there'd be potentially a joint entryway between forward paths and the future pickleball courts. So part of the contract calls for some coordination so that we don't have issues. And then the third part of the project, really the second part, is to resurface the tennis courts. So it's a kind of a three-pronged project. Number one is the pickleball. Number two is resurface the existing tennis courts, and then in so doing, to coordinate with the Forward Paths project, which is on the shuffleboard courts. So as far as land use, we don't have conflicts.
Okay, thank you. That was my concern.
And these did include, the pickleball courts does include lighting, right?
Yes.
Because the Pear Park courts, there is no lighting. So
Yes.
when people want to play in the fall or winter, you can't go from work and play. It's too dark.
Okay, that was my concern, just the location. Thank you. Any other comments on anybody? None? Roll call, please.
So the vote that you have
you have the
now
motion,
is the original motion, which was to award the contract to Needy. So there was a motion on the floor and a second for that action.
Commissioner Berry?
No.
Commissioner Peterson?
No.
Commissioner Eastman?
No.
Commissioner Carnell?
No.
Mayor Berry?
No.
Now I'll make a motion to award the contract to Eco Construction at their lower bid price.
Second.
Again, just one more time, do we really need 8 more pickleball courts when we can convert 2 of the existing tennis courts and make 8 pickleball courts for a lot less money, and they can still be used for tennis? And we already have 12 already in the city at Pear Park. And the city provides pickleball services twice a week.
I'll just make a comment to the tennis courts. When this first came up in budget a year ago, I didn't even say I supported it. I just brought it up as an issue to discuss converting the tennis courts. I think I said 2 of them to pickleball, and there was quite an uproar from the high school and all through the community, so I quickly backed off of that. So yeah, I want to leave the 4 tennis courts in place, and I'm glad we're resurfacing them.
I also received multiple calls about this, about keeping the tennis courts. They're already full, already at capacity with people using them all the time. And a lot of people reached out to me from downtown, local business owners, church groups. They're really excited about this, that it is lighted and they have the opportunity to play at all hours as well. Thank you.
comments? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Carnell?
No.
Commissioner Burry?
Yes.
Mayor Berry?
Yes. Moving on to public hearings and non-routine items. During public hearings and non-routine items, the commission requests that those in attendance respect the process and maintain order. As such, in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, please refrain from speaking out, cheering, or applauding during these proceedings. Your cooperation helps ensure a fair, respectful hearing. I will ask the city attorney to please to swear in the participants for the second reading.
Madam Mayor, if anyone here is here tonight to speak on item 6A4, which is the reserve at 44 PUD rezoning, if you would please stand and raise your right hand so we can swear you all in. I understand there may be some folks out in the hallway as well. So we'll maybe give everybody a moment here to file in so we can get you all.
I'd also like to inform everyone that City Manager Minner will be reaching out to Mrs. Snow for meetings, and he will be in contact with her to schedule a time. Thank you.
All right, so we'll go now. Anybody that's here again for second reading of ordinance item 6A4, which is the reserve at 44 PUD rezoning, if you would please stand and raise your right hand, and we'll swear you all in. Do you swear or affirm that all testimony you'll give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you, Madam Mayor.
Will someone please introduce?
I'll introduce 6A1
Say
to be
one.
6A1 to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, amending the city's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 25, Section 25-292, to create subsection parentheses 26, historic structure density bonus outside designated historic district, and providing an effective date.
For approval?
Second.
May we have any comments, please, or Mr. Miller, will you please go?
Thank you, Mayor. Dan Miller, Planning and Zoning. By way of background, this is the historic district, outside historic district density bonus. The city currently has a density bonus for historic structures, and that's for structures located inside the historic district. And the historic district would be the area that's roughly described as 12th Street on the west, Canal Street on the east, and then the city trail systems on the north and the south. So that's what we have for a historic district density bonus. This project contemplates a request for an additional density bonus for historic structures which lie outside of the current historic district. So that would be the section 26 addition to subsection 26 in addition to section 25-292. It's a voluntary program. It's not automatic. The projects would have to be located outside the city's designated historic district. They would have to support compatible redevelopment and reinvestment in the existing historic structures. And by historic, that means they have to be at least 50 years old. The proposal would have to maintain sufficient historic integrity, and they would have to demonstrate historical, architectural, cultural significance to the city. Eligible projects would be reviewed on a case-by-case basis and would remain subject to applicable city review and approval procedures. That would include staff, planning commission, historic board, city commission. So review and approval. So it's really an economic development incentive to try to retain, rehabilitate, adaptively reuse historically significant structures. And we feel like it can preserve structures that contribute to the historic and cultural character of the city of Leesburg. So basically, a project comes in, it's reviewed by staff. If it needs a zoning, it goes to the planning commission. It'd have to go to historic board and city commission. It would allow a density bonus. There are very few structures that would be impacted. Specifically, one of the ones we're looking at is 1502 High Street, which is the old, it was a college many years ago and has sat vacant and has been used and misused. And we continue to get people asking about it. Under the current future land use and zoning, you can only get 5 units in there, and there's no way to make that economically work. So, but if we could get 10 in there, as long as there's parking and meets all the other standards, we feel like this could be a good project that would save a worthy building. There could possibly be some other buildings in the city, and one example that jumps out would be like the Coca-Cola building on West Main. Even though it's not used for that right now, it could be a real good option in the future. So the program would stand alone. It'd be by itself. It cannot be combined with any other bonus, and each case would be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. It remains, of course, subject to all the applicable city reviews, and it would be codified, so it would be very clear. We feel like this type of ordinance will be effective for where time and newer development have made it difficult for an older building, which is worth saving. It makes it difficult for those old structures to be economically feasible for redevelopment. Because this, as the example of 1502 High Street, because the city kind of grew up around it. I don't know what year it was moved to its current location, but probably the early 1900s, late 1800s. But as the neighborhoods have grown up around it, it's made it very difficult. So the Historic Preservation Board and the Planning Commission both voted to approve this request. And I'd try to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, Dan, I have a question. What other what other groups that you said could not be used with this? What other programs and grants?
We currently have the historic district bonus, and then we are working on a downtown future land use density bonus. So what we're trying to do is, under the correct conditions, apply bonuses where they will be beneficial economically to the city and create business opportunities. So you couldn't use them both. You couldn't use any two. They have to stand on their own.
Okay. Thank you.
Dan, question.
Yes, sir.
I think it's great, but one thing comes to mind. Had a property recently that was in code enforcement.
Okay.
Property, I'm not going to identify it. Let's just say it was in very, very bad shape. And I spoke to code enforcement, and they said it had been stalled by the historical board. And I guess my question is, I just want to be sure that this isn't used as a tool to hurt or slow down code enforcement.
No.
I don't know. I know that's not the intent. I just want to be sure we have language in there that it's not abused for that purpose. And this may have been just an unusual situation, but it was an older home that anybody who saw it would say it needs to be knocked down. If somebody wanted to rehab it, that's fine. But
right. In the case of a density bonus, the applicant is going to want to make that work as quickly as they can, because density is dollars.
I know it's kind of a stretch. I just wanted to clear the air on that one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, thank you so much.
I have one more question. Is that the oldest building? Is that one the oldest?
It's
or
one
the
of
others?
the oldest buildings in Leesburg. I believe it was originally constructed in like 1878, 1880s, something like that. It's one of the oldest. I forget the exact date, but it is quite old. But the bones of it are, we have been inside it under a previous owner, and the bones of it are beautiful, and there's some beautiful woodwork on the inside.
Is there a limit to the dollar amount for reconstructing or?
No, because the city's only saying you can have a couple of extra units here, a few extra units.
Mm-hmm.
We're not putting any money into it.
Okay. Are there any further questions? Roll call, please.
Just a comment that it's Florida Southern College, and it was 1886.
1886.
It was built, and then they relocated to Lakeland.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Eastman? Yes. Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Berry?
Yes. Will someone please introduce 6A2, 6A3, and 6A4?
I'll introduce 6A2, 3, and 4 to be read by title only.
Excuse me. 6A2, an ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, annexing certain property consisting of approximately 10.24 plus minus acres, being generally located east of County Road 44 and north of Spring Court, lying in Section 1, Township 19 South, Range 25 East, Lake County, Florida, provided that said property shall be liable for its proportionate share of the existing and future indebtedness of said city, providing that such annexed property shall be subject to all laws and ordinances of said city, as if such territory had been a part of the City of Leesburg at the time of passage and approval of said laws and ordinances, providing that such annexed territory shall be placed in City Commission District 5, and providing an effective date. 6A3, an ordinance amending the future land use map of the comprehensive plan of the City of Leesburg by changing the future land use map designation of certain property containing 10.24 plus minus acres from Lake County Urban Low to City of Leesburg Estate Residential for property generally located east of County Road 44 and north of Spring Court, lying in Section 1, Township 19 South, Range 25 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date. 6A4, an ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, changing the zoning of approximately 10.24 plus minus acres from Lake County R1 Rural Residential and R3 Medium Residential to City of Leesburg PUD Planned Unit Development to allow for single-family residential uses for property generally located east of County Road 44 and north of Spring Court, lying in Section 1, Township 19 South, Range 25 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Mayor. This project consists of an annexation small-scale comp plan and rezoning on a site which consists of 10.24 plus or minus undeveloped acres. Is generally located on the east side of County Road 44 and north of Spring Court. Under the overall proposal, the future land use application for this project is requesting a change from Lake County Urban Low to City Estate. That's a 4 unit per acre exchange, 4 for 4. The zoning application for the project is requesting a change from Lake County R1, which is their rural residential, and R3 medium residential to City of Leesburg PUD planned unit development. The request is for approval of zoning for a future development consisting of detached single-family residential units. Under the city department responses, there were no substantive comments. Lake County Public Works had no comments, and the Lake County School Board sent back a de minimis letter, meaning it was of very small impact. We did receive significant public responses as objections to the project. To summarize those comments, habitat fragmentation and displacement of wildlife, loss of mature canopy and ecological buffering, increased stormwater runoff was a big concern, and impacts to the Silver Lake ecosystem. And then there were some concerns about increased lighting, noise, dust, and construction disruption, and privacy and compatibility concerns for immediately adjacent residential properties. In light of those objections, which were shared with us at the Planning Commission meeting and then brought forward to first reading a few weeks ago, the applicant did hold a community meeting this past Friday and to discuss those concerns, and I would like to come back to that in a moment. Under the terms of the SPUD, Small Plan Unit Development Agreement, we have 10.24 acres with detached single-family units. The project proposal, which was seen at the Planning Commission, provided the following conditions and development standards. All the lots that were recommended for approval by the Planning Commission, recommended by the Planning Commission, were 60-foot in minimum width, 2-car garages, gutters, maximum building height of 2 floors, 35% open space, dark sky lighting, 25-foot landscape buffers required all the way around, code-compliant landscaping, split rail fence along 44, 6-foot fence around the remainder of the site, unless there is adequate vegetation considered by the city to be opaque, meaning you cannot see through it. And of course, the use of Bahia or Bermuda grass is required in the place of St. Augustine. Landscape codes must be city-approved or reviewed under the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences list, which has a list of Florida-friendly and pollinator-friendly plants. And we've also added a requirement for perpetual maintenance on all lots to help with code enforcement issues. The site access would be shown on the site plan coming from County Road 44. It does require boulevard-style construction, and the developer is required to provide any and all expansions or upgrades to County Road 44 at the access point as needed and required by Lake County. All development here would be on city water and wastewater, so there will be no wells or septic on the property. Now, as a result of the previously mentioned neighborhood meeting this past Friday, we were contacted. We received an email from the applicant, actually, yesterday evening, and he wanted to ask for the following changes. Originally, the PUD allowed for 23 units. They are saying they can go with 19. They would like to revise the lot sizes. The current PUD says 60 feet width on all lot sizes, but they're willing to do, most of the lots would be 60, but there would be some 70s and at least one 80-foot lot. They want to enlarge the retention pond on the south, increase the open space from 35% to 43%, and increase the recreation area size from about 0.11 acres, which is what is standard required, which is what is standard requirement in the PUD, to about 0.2 acres. So go from 5,000 to 8,500, give or take. So it's a little bit larger recreation area. Those requests fall within the confines of the PUD, but you can add those. We can make those changes if you choose. And staff would like to add language to this PUD regarding agricultural uses. This language was supposed to be in the PUD when you saw it the first time around, and we inadvertently left it out of the document. So that was our mistake, and I would like to add that in there. It would be under Section 3B. We use it in a lot of PUD documents, but the wording is very simple. Agricultural uses in the adjoining phases may continue until such time as 50% of the permitted residential units are constructed within the proposed development. That's all that is, and we use it in PUDs. So as always, we've included the phasing or expiration clause, which requires that development move forward within 4 years, or the property has an automatic reversion to the RE1 zoning standards, which is 1 acre per unit. Staff did recommend approval for these cases. The Planning Commission did recommend denial by a vote of 3-2. They expressed concerns about traffic, lot size, and density. Again, that was prior to the community meeting. So with that, Mr. Logan Opsel of Lowndes, Drostick, Cantor, and Reed in Orlando is here to represent the case. Some other folks, Mr. Jason Lee, the applicant for the property, Mr. Chuck Hyatt, the engineer, they're all here, and I believe some residents from the area are here as well. Thank you, Mayor.
Dan, excuse me, Dan, I have one question, and someone else, Logan, may want to answer it, but yeah, we get this comment on every development, and I guess I want you to address the audience on projects being self-contained as to runoff, as to storm runoff.
Yes.
And the fact is, that is governed by St. John's. That's not our approval. So I just wanted the audience to understand that.
No, that is correct. And with respect to that, staff understands that people would naturally be concerned about it. All of the runoff on a given property does have to be maintained on that property, and there are state St. John's Water Management District standards, state law standards that require that, given the particular type of rain event, 24, 48, 72 hours, that all that water that falls on that property has to maintain and stay on that property, flow into a retention area where it can filter through. And so that is correct. That has to be engineered.
No, thank you for that. I figured you could explain it better than me.
Great, thank you, Dan. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. Logan Opsal, 215 North Eola Drive. I'll be very brief. Dan did a good job of outlining some of the changes. We're thankful to the residents that were willing to show up to the voluntary community meeting because we did have significant and specific feedback. And so one of the items I think of of great importance that you've heard in your feedback and from previous hearings was just the buffering and what's out there, some of the mature trees. And so we wanted to take a look at some of that existing, that 25-foot area, particularly on that spring court side of the project, and see what we can do to preserve some of those mature areas. Now, the PUD ordinance has pretty significant landscaping conditions as well, and so that will also help supplement that area. But in doing that and kind of prioritizing the specifics that we heard, we were able to look at our site plan and make some adjustments to allow for the proper stormwater, which Commissioner Peterson just brought up, and again, trying to maintain some of those highly vegetated mature areas. That allowed us to reduce the units down from what was 23 units on your original proposal down to the 19. And so those items, along with being able to comply with the PUD as written, but also in practicality, in what you see on your screen, being able to provide some items like additional open space and lot width, the landscaping, all of those things that we could meet, we are now also exceeding. With that, I know there's some folks here that also got to join the community meeting, so I'll reserve some time in case there's specific follow-up questions I can answer. But thank you for your time. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Is there anyone from the public would like any comments? Please come forward. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you.
Today, maybe on the side. Yeah. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. All right, so first of all, thank you.
Please state your name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rita Maria de Silva Collado, 9229 Silver Lake Drive. So first of all, a big thank you for meeting with us and for hearing us. We appreciate it. So as far as Reserve 44 is concerned, we feel much better. I think the concerns that we had regarding the water runoff specifically for Reserve at 44, I think that what's being proposed, is looking very optimistic. That being said, this development is being inserted into an area that already has issues, and we understand the St. John's. We understand that, but our concern is beyond Reserve at 44. CR 44 is currently unsafe. We have kids that live there. We have kids that have to get on CR 44 that we worry about. And then also the runoff is, if this can get controlled the way that it is, which is a great win, we're hoping for the opportunity to perhaps work also with the Morningside team, because right now that's the main source that's causing the flooding issue. The FEMA maps have not been updated since 2021 from at least the information that's publicly available. And so that does not take into consideration then all of the clearing and all of the rigid surfaces that have already been inserted between 2021 and today. So that's 5 years of development and of land clearing that I don't know how to get that data, but I think I would not want to be the engineer that has to figure it out, especially with data that's that old. So I don't know what can be done. Maybe on a smaller local scale, right? I understand we don't control FEMA, but if there's a possibility to perhaps run a current assessment when there's 1 inch of water, 3 inches of water, a downpour, right? Because we're not talking about great quantities yet this year. One of the biggest storms we had that caused this was only 3 inches of rain. And so, of course, our concern is what happens in August and September. And of course, I'm happy to document and continue sharing the information with the commission. So again, thank you. Thank you for this. One down, but we need your support, please, to look at the existing condition and to see how we can perhaps together be part of a solution for the pre-existing condition at Morningside. Thank you.
Thank you.
back. Okay, so I respectfully request that my concerns and the following also be entered into the official minutes of this meeting.
Excuse me, ma'am, your name.
Anna Martinez, 8735 Spring Court, Leesburg, Florida, 34788. Apologize. Also, we want to thank the builder of Reserve 44 to listen to our concerns and making the adjustments. They were very accommodating, and it was a very productive meeting, I feel, and I think all of us that were there can agree. The builder also acknowledged that the property adjacent to mine is on the low side and has agreed to extend the retention pond beyond the back of my property. He also is proposing a green buffer of at least 25 feet, and we appreciate it can even be greater. And we respectfully ask that that buffer be maintained with the existing trees that are there now in the greenery be preserved as much as possible. Those trees and greenery will provide natural absorption and can help reduce additional water flowing towards my property, especially during heavy rainfall when the retention pond may not capture everything. I appreciate the builder's willingness to listen and work with the surrounding homeowners. My goal is not to oppose a development, but to make sure the existing neighborhood is protected and that the adjustment being made today continue to protect us in the future. If the current builder needs to make any future adjustments, sell the property, or another builder takes over, I respectfully request that the retention pond remain behind my property and that the buffer with the existing trees and greenery remain protected in order to keep my property safe from any potential future flooding. Thank you again for hearing my concern, and again, I want to thank the builder for his communication, for listening to us, and for committing to keep us informed throughout the entire process. This is just not a one-and-done deal. They all agreed to communicate with us, letting us know when the project is going to commence, everything in detail, just to keep us informed so that we can adjust our life during this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Thank you, Ms. Martinez.
Good evening. I'm Robert Lung, 8732 Spring Court. We've got a small 16-home community there at Silver Lake Springs. I don't want to bore you all with a story about the straw that broke the camel's back or the story about too many rats in the cage, but I would like to point out that FDOT and the Federal Highways Commission, Federal Highways studies demonstrate that direct access like ours onto the 44 and overpopulated arteries increase your risk for collision 3 to 5 times. So I'm with Anna. I'm not opposed to development, but what's going to happen with all these houses being built around Silver Lake Springs is they're going to shortcut through the Silver Lake over to Radio Road to get to the grocery store. They're not going to go all the way down the 44 to Radio Road. That's like 5 miles further. So when arteries fill up, residential streets become arteries, and that's where we're headed. There's a $500 million project off of State Road 54 down in Lakeland because of the very same thing. I came up with about half a dozen examples where commissions like yours have built these developments, and I know you guys got off the hook in 2011 for not having to worry about highways, but it's a major concern to people who live there. I mean, I can listen to a whole song trying to pull out onto the 44. It's getting ridiculous. People are going to die. So I'm not here to oppose development, but I'm here to encourage you guys to get on the ball and get after FDOT and get after whoever you need to get after to start doing some studies and start understanding what needs to be done to the 44. It's ridiculous, and it's just gonna get worse. So I'm imploring you all to please begin some traffic studies in that area, and there's like people, you know, you knock the speed limit down to 50, they're still doing 70. So please, the other issue I have that you guys need to think about, it's a double easement there. There's the big power poles and there's the little power poles. Those things are going to cost millions and millions of dollars to relocate that right away. It's not just going to fall from the sky. You're not going to push into our neighborhood to expand the 44. You're going to have to relocate some of those. I think they're 12,470. They're trunk lines. They're not just power poles, and they don't just move with a couple bucks. So I'm imploring you, please start studying the 44. Do something about the traffic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Long.
Good evening, Alan Chen, 8010 Treasure Island Road, Leesburg. If you see the title says Traffic Studies, a Farce. Going to the second slide, what I plotted here is Lake County's population growth, which shows essentially a 4% per year annual growth. However, we know Leesburg is actually growing at a faster rate. The numbers I saw online were about 6% per year, and I'm not sure if that's accurate enough. But the plot here shows Lake County. If you go to the next slide, this traffic study was actually based from one that was done for Lake Yale, but it includes the database for all of Lake County. So the database is actually in two parts. There's a past database, 2019 to 2024, and a future one, 2023 to 2028. And if you go to the fourth slide, it shows the database on the right side. That's 173 segments of Lake County roads, and that's for the past 2019 to 2024, each column being 1 year, 2019, 2020, and so on. So I summed up all of the columns. I put that into Excel, and these are the annual adjusted daily traffic numbers for each segment. And you can see the table at the bottom. It actually shows over the 5 years a decrease of 1% per year, which doesn't make any sense. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see that the population growth is plotted here in red is increasing. Leesburg would actually be steeper, but the traffic counts are actually decreasing. And this is a regression plot, so it's taken into account the kind of the average decrease here. This cannot be correct. Should not be used for planning. Now, if you go to the sixth slide, this table here is kind of interesting because the top two segments is CR 44, where we all live. The first one is CR 44 from 441 to Silver Lake Road. The second one is Silver Lake Road to 473. And if you look at the daily trips, we're currently at 80 to 85% of the capacity of CR 44. That's 11 to 12,000 daily trips per day. The growth rate they're planning here for 23 to 2028 is 1% to 1.25% per year. Now, we know with all of the annexations that have been done, we're probably going to more than double the traffic. It's not 1% per year. It's going to be on the order of, 26% per year. So again, these numbers cannot be accurate. If you go to slide 7, it's kind of a graphic that shows at the bottom left corner, 2023, currently about 11 to 12,000 trips per day. It's going to increase to over 30,000 with all of this. So again, you're going to be at 200% of capacity for CR44. So that's really the bottom line. These traffic studies are not accurate. You're being misled. That's the last one. Thank you.
Hi, Ray. Hello. Hi, Ray Hayden, Dennis Road, Leesburg. The issue with the traffic is correct. You know about it. We've been talking about it for years on public record. The little improvements for each community along the way are indeed helpful for those people to get in and out of their communities. But I want to give you an example of something that's right here, right now, on my way over here to the committee, or to the committee here, is that there's a racetrack, gas track, or gas station over there. And if you're coming from that intersection where 441 and 444 hit, and you come this direction, that road's all brand new. It's all brand spanking new. It's beautiful stuff. It's a nightmare and a death trap to try to make a left turn from the south side of 441 to get into the racetrack to fuel up. The better way is, unfortunately, to go across into a smaller road area, is cross 441 and go the back way over in the racetrack. So that way, at least you can get there without people coming around the corner. If you back off of that image right there, you probably see a little bit more of the territory, but I don't know if you would. Anyways, or care. Anyway, so, but the fact of the matter is that people are coming around that those corners over there, they speed up. I mean, it's like they're hitting the gas like it's a racetrack to get to racetrack. And it makes it very dangerous for anybody trying to turn left into racetrack. So it's a hassle for the resident business that's there, and it's a danger to all of us trying to get fuel for our vehicles, our tractors, and whatnot. The other thing is the overflow of water. Yeah, sure, St. John's there. We've been up there a whole bunch of times. You may have heard about that. But yeah, St. John's is responsible for that. But it's your approved development. I'm sure it's going to be approved. That's just fine. However, somebody's going to pay for that because all the new regulations say you got to build up higher, build up higher, build up higher. Well, guess what? Gravity is going to win. It always is. And that water's going downhill. Unfortunately, my friends and neighbors over here, they live there right in the way. They are right in the path of potential water solutions. Now, right now, we're kind of in what's called a mega drought right here, right? In Florida, it rains like crazy. It's insane. But when it does rain, it's a flash flood. Next year, after this pattern gets done, it's going to be raining the normal season, and we're going to have floods. And we're going to have floods right there on 44. Now, here's the other problem for everybody here. All of us that live there, and for you as Leesburg, you're annexing properties on a county road. So you don't have to pay for them. County's got to pay for them. You have to enforce those improvements on the street. That's great, and I appreciate that you do that. Fact of the matter is, the county is not going to take care of that road on the other parts of the road that you would really love them to do. And if it was me, and I had any, maybe I will fight it. Maybe I'll pick up that fight and fight it to make Leesburg own 44. So then it'd be Leesburg's 44, and then you all can pay for it. Okay? Keep that in mind. Do what you got to do. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Hayden. No further comments. Commission, do you have any comments or questions? Not any. Roll call. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's coming out.
Hi, I'm Cindy Clark. I live at 9145 Silver Lake Drive, Leesburg. I've been a resident of Leesburg for 55 years, proud resident. I am just going to ask you to please, I know that you, and again, the gentleman that bought this property, he was kind enough to meet with us, and nobody else has ever done that, so I applaud him for that. And I think that he wants to do the right thing, but I'm going to tell you these are just a few things that are going on right now. I have had, my husband and I we have cameras all around our home because of all the developments on 44. We just built, along with my brother, we went in and we have a very large entrance gate because we had people that have figured out where we live and they can cut through. It's not very pleasant when they come through and they flip you off and they tell you that it's a public road when it is a shared driveway between our homes. So it got to be a safety issue because sometimes there's grandchildren that are playing in the yards and you have someone that's really several that have been really quite rude to come through and to tell us what they think about our driveway. But that's only because of the developments that have happened on 44. And I understand that, again, I'm kind of like with everyone else. I know that development is going to happen. But I am asking each of you, when you approve these developments, do you actually go back by and see what you approved and what impact did it make on the community? I know that you take care of our city. Now, I'm in the county, okay? But like I said, I've been here for 55 years, and I have been around a lot with the city of Leesburg. But what I'm saying is you approve these developments, but do you actually go out and see what effect that it has made on the community, the people that live here? I know that it increases our tax base. I understand all the politics. I'm not stupid. So I understand all of that. I understand what you may or may not need to be doing. But my issue is that we as residents, you're supposed to be protecting us. I'm sorry, I guess I've been up. Y'all want me to sit down. But, I was just getting started because I've got bears in the yard because of everything. I will not make a scene. I implore you to look at what you're doing, because what you're doing is affecting.
Your time is up, thank you.
See, that's what I mean.
Sorry. There's
That
three.
is not correct.
It's 3 minutes for each person. Thank you.
Very well said. I don't think she listened.
Any further comments?
I do have a few. It was brought up tonight that County Road 44 is it is County Road, it's not a road, which is true. I mean, and anybody who's drove 44 in the last 5 years knows at times it's a dangerous road, and it's really backed up. And there is a few subdivisions out there through when we've had some pretty good storms come through. It's flooded out 44. I mean, not just with water. I mean, just with soil erosion and everything else. I mean, so I understand the concerns with the flooding issues out there, and we can't do anything about the road situation there because it's county. But what we can do is stop annexing property on that road until the county takes it serious and does some improvements on the road. And I just feel like, I mean, we've got enough annexation in this city. We don't need to keep it. I understand this is in the big picture, small little development, but each little development makes a difference. It continues to add more and more traffic to our roads and on roads that we don't even have any control of. And I don't think the county even remotely has the money to address 44. I've looked at 44. I drive it all the time. And I agree. You can't just widen 44. There's major power lines right down the side of that road. It would cost a fortune to majorly improve to make 44 a 4-lane road. I don't see it ever happening. And so therefore, I don't think, I mean, at least we should do our share. Quit annexing property onto 44 and put more development on it, okay? We can't do anything about the road, but we can stop the annexation that's putting more traffic on this road.
So, Dan, did you say that in the county, the zoning right now is 4 units per acre? So if we were to turn this down, they could go to the county?
Potentially,
You'd end
yes,
up
sir.
Potentially
The future
4
land
units?
use goes 4 to 4.
I would make the argument they'll never get that kind of density out of the county with wells and septic tanks.
Well, would they get 19?
No. Not with wells and septic, no.
I don't know what the county's minimum is anymore. They used to do it on quarter-acre lots. I don't think they do that anymore. So I do not know what their minimum size is on well and septic.
Any further? Oh, go ahead.
If you'll allow, Madam Mayor, just want to thank the folks that were able to speak and come out to the community meeting. I think there was some broader discussion, which is worthy of the consideration, but want to acknowledge some of the site-specific stuff that we've been able to achieve. Appreciate bringing up the various items we did discuss. We were in agreement. I was nodding my head as you were talking, so I'm glad that was able to be part of the record, including expansion of the pond to take care of some of those runoff issues. You know, the well and septic and those types of discussions, I think that's exactly the point. You know, we want to be in the city to have the provision of utilities. I think it's clean for the lake. I think it makes for orderly development, and it allows us a PUD development order that provides for the additional landscaping and this site plan that we would need to build in accordance with per the terms of the agreement. So we look forward to being with the city. We thank our neighbors for giving us the specifics. They know their property, they know their neighborhood well, and we were proud to be able to take their specifics and put them into this PUD. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further comments?
I'm Daniel C. DeVries, and I live at 9145 Silver Lake Drive, and I also own 854144. My wife was just up here and said and talked about the wall and the gate that we put up on the back of our property to keep people from coming through. When we designed that gate, when we brought it in to be approved, they told us we couldn't have a curved wall. We had to have it straight because at some point they're going to widen 44. Nobody said a thing about that tonight. It's going to be expensive, but apparently it's going to happen because they told us we couldn't do what we wanted to do because of the wall, because of 44 being widened. I asked the people at the meeting on Friday, had they heard anything about 44 being widened? They said no. I wonder why they would have told our architects, our engineers, that we couldn't do our wall the way we wanted to because they're going to widen 44. It's a disaster. We've had 5 people killed on 44 on the curve around North Silver Lake Drive towards our home. I applaud you, sir, for what you said. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any further comments from the public? Please come. Please come to the.
Jonathan Papp, Lakeland, Florida. Are we able to comment on a prior B1 agenda item at this time? It was concerning the pickleball courts. There's an oversight with.
We've already.
Right, I understand. I sat there and listened. There was no. It wasn't opened up for public comment or. So I was waiting patiently. I don't know. We're towards the end of the meeting. I don't attend these meetings regularly.
I think if, I mean, this matter's already been voted on and concluded. If the mayor or commission wishes to hear any further comments on it, they can, but I think the action item's already done at this point.
If you want to let him speak, why don't you let him speak after this matter?
Yeah, I think
He's in the
that,
middle
I think
of
that
a-
makes sense. Maybe give him an opportunity.
That's fine. I didn't know when to approach the podium. Thank you.
Any further comments in reference to the County Road 44 Silver Lake area and the development here? If not, oh, go ahead, come on, sir.
Claude Ucorn, 8729 Spring Court, Leesburg. Seems like every meeting I've been to for the last 3 or 4 years or more, we talk about 44. The last meeting that I was here, well, actually it was down at the Venetian Garden. Somebody mentioned, one of the commissioners, I don't see him here tonight. They said, you don't think that 44 is going to get widened? Well, evidently it's not from what I hear because it can't be done financially. Then the second thought I had is, what's going to happen with all this property that Cottrell owned? We're talking how many acres? Hundreds? So, I mean, what? Come on, wake up. 44 is going to be another I-4. It's going to be bumper to bumper, and people are going to be killed. Does anybody know what's going to happen with Cottrell property? No, exactly. But you keep approving all these all these things, and you don't care about what you say you do, but I don't see anything being done on 44. Even our little development, they had the audacity not to give us a turning lane. There's room for a turning lane southbound on 44, but what they ended up doing is getting one of these crisscross lanes, which by rights, if the police wanted to, they can give us a ticket if we drove on that piece of lane and turned in. We could actually be fined. That could easily have been painted white and had white arrows, but no, we decided to put whatever they call those jagged lines. So like I said, I don't think you people or the county even cares about 44 or what happens on 44. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yoga. Any further comments? If not, roll call, please, Andy.
Commissioner Connell,
No.
Commissioner Berry,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman,
Yes.
Mayor Berry.
Yes.
On each one.
That was the
Yes,
invitation.
roll call, please.
The future land use is next, right?
Yes, 683. Yes, we need a motion for 683.
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Berry,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman,
Yes.
Commissioner Connell,
No on the density.
Mayor Berry.
Yes. Can I get a motion for 684?
I'll make a motion to approve with the modifications that staff told us.
Yes.
Second.
It's been, roll call, please, Andy.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman, Commissioner Connell,
No.
Commissioner Berry,
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor Berry.
Yes. Moving on, we have no first reading of ordinances.
Grant, do we amended, do we need to now approve the?
We didn't have a motion already standing. That was the motion that was made, the motion that was voted on. Yes, sir.
There's no first reading of ordinances. Next, we have non-routine items.
I was gonna say, you gonna let this fella talk?
Oh, I'm sorry, please. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Johnson from Lakeland. Please state your name and address again. I'm going to record it. Thank you.
Sure. Jonathan Papp, 747 Lakeland, Florida. I represent 90 Sports Construction. We were a participant in the design build RFQ that was placed for Palmetto Park. And notice I say RFQ. It's a request for qualifications, and it's a design build. That solicitation followed the CCNA, which is the Consultants Competitive Negotiation Act. So inside that act, respondents are to be evaluated based upon their qualifications. They're supposed to be shortlisted. Arriving at a price on a design build project is not feasible. We went ahead and requested all of the submissions. The company that you wish to award this to, Eco Construction, for site drainage, they listed TBD. So though they are lower, for drainage and site improvements, they listed to be determined. So that's not part of their bid. I'd ask that the committee, in addition to the purchasing department and the evaluation committee that evaluated this RFQ, this is not an ITB. This is not an invitation to bid where we're awarding this based upon the lowest price. This is an RFQ, request for qualifications. We presented a very clear package, and our price included drainage. It was almost like a GMP. But in looking at the solicitation, It is not feasible for a consultant in our position to give a price. Not enough information was provided by the city of Leesburg. We made assumptions based upon the limited information provided. But to award that project this evening, based upon the little that is known by you all, I don't feel that ECO should be awarded that project. I reviewed all the respondents. We initially placed third. I appealed that because there were mistakes made by the purchasing department. The easiest was they are not a local vendor. They're local to Lake County, but not Leesburg. So I'd ask that, hey, we go back and take a look at the RFQ and award this to the most qualified firm, not the lowest price. Price cannot be determined at this point. They listed TBD for site drainage and overall drainage concerns. We included at least an allowance. That's why we're higher, but we are by far more qualified.
I actually have a few questions for him. So your proposal did include site drainage.
Yes. Part of the requirements, we provided a 2-scale dimension showing the courts. Our plan reflected 2 retention ponds in addition to parking.
All right. And can anyone validate that the contractor that was awarded the bid earlier is indeed correct? He's correct that it was to be determined on the site drainage? So we're going to come back to get a change order on that?
It'll certainly be a change order because he put, like I said, we initially placed third because there were errors that were made during the evaluation that I clearly saw. And so I requested that, hey, can I please see copies of all of them? And we placed third. Again, we feel that the evaluators ranked the firms based on price, and it was very clear. I replayed the evaluation meeting minutes, and everyone touched upon price rather than qualifications.
You said
Look, we'll go back and review that, and I'm not going to answer it here publicly. It was my understanding that this was a design-build project, not a CCNA. They're different projects. Everybody gave a price. Price was part of the project. So the information that you're providing to the commission is misleading.
I don't believe so.
Okay, I don't believe so either. So I'll go back and look at it. That was the conversation I had with the city attorney. It was also the conversation that at the end of the day, the commission had the right to choose the best product. That's what they did this evening. So we'll hear your complaint, we'll double check, and I'll report back to the commission accordingly. I understand that this was not a CCNA. A CCNA is not for construction. A CCNA is clearly for professional consulting, architects, engineers, lawyers, not construction.
And design-build services.
This is my statement. You had yours. So I'll review this with the city attorney. If we're wrong, we'll come back to you before we sign the contract.
And I would just note that looking through here on the title here, we've got request for proposal.
It was clearly
RFQ,
delineated.
and
The
there's-
price was part of the project.
There's a number of places
It
within
was
the
the point
document
awarded
that
for a
talk
price,
about
so I
prices.
think the argument is disingenuous. I understand the argument. We'll look into it. If there were errors or omissions, we'll report back to you next week. But at this state, I think you correctly approved the proper contract. You were within your rights to reject staff recommendation, which was modified by procurement. And we'll look into it. Pending any errors, then I think you made your choice this evening, and we'll move forward with that. But I'll report back.
I don't want to get bogged down here. You referenced ECO said to be determined. May I ask what your number was in that category, the site drainage?
I don't recall. Everyone provided a schedule of values.
Okay. But I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. I mean, we got a $400,000 swing, so that's where I was going with it.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll follow up. Okay. No, thank you.
Can I make one last?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
There was a points structure. That's how we arrived at our scoring. there was no points for pricing. There were points for experience, approach, so on and so forth, all the things that would, be in line with a design build. And typically, sometimes on projects, there are points for pricing.
Not in the CCNA. So
There were no points for pricing on
in the
this.
CCNA, price is not discussed. It's qualifications only. So this was clearly not a CCNA. So that's a bit of a red herring. Again, we've heard your complaint. We'll look into it.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm a little confused myself, but if his bid included stormwater and then what we just didn't, what was approved, I didn't
We'll double
include
check.
it, then I am concerned because I just, what was it? 2 months ago, just stormwater only, the change order came back on Susan Street was like $700,000. So, yes, I would like to not sign any contracts until Al reports back to us and we're making sure we're comparing apples to apples here on who's getting what and what actually we are getting for the price.
What kind of time frame would you?
Oh, I'll have the answer for you next week.
So pending that answer from next week,
Or next
within,
I mean, if you want us
at
to
that
read it,
meeting,
I'll
someone
go
who
back to
voted
you.
yes for this, if they feel that your information would override them, then they could bring it back up for discussion. Is that correct?
Reconsideration would be appropriate tonight or at the next meeting.
Correct. So if
From
you
somebody
find
who
out some-
voted in
from
the
somebody who
majority.
voted yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'll provide a written report to the commission.
Yeah.
And then you'll have that,
To,
say, by the end of the week.
there you go.
And then if you want it re-agendized, anybody who voted in the affirmative can put it back on there.
Right,
And of course, that will be a public document.
right.
And that would be based on which, the CCA or whatever, or
I'll go back and double check that the processes are correct. The accusation is that we mixed and matched the CCNA with the design build. I don't think that's accurate. We'll look into it. And I'll report back to you.
And I just want to clarify for the audience who may not know all the background on this. After it was rescored, the scores were extremely close. I mean, I think less than 1 point. And the difference in price is $1 million versus $1.4 million. So I mean, that was the basis of my, my decision.
any further
Yeah,
comments?
it was my understanding that we reviewed and double reviewed that, and we brought you the proper answer. If there was an error in that, we'll flush that out. I'll provide you a memo. Obviously, if there was an error, we'll let you know, and then I would assume somebody who voted in the affirmative will force the vote to come back to us. If there was no error or omission, then, I won't, I think, Commissioner, no offense, the only one who, can Jay vote to bring that back?
No, you had to.
You have to vote in the
It
affirmative.
would have to be somebody that voted in the
So it'll
affirmative.
be on the for you all. If you all, if we go back and we find out everything's cool, I'll report that accordingly. Grant and I will look into that, and we'll have a determination here in the next couple of days. I felt like staff did that, and that's why it was on the agenda this evening. So I don't agree with the contractor, but, we heard the protest, and we'll go back and look at it.
And any one of the 4 commissioners who voted in the affirmative could
Anyone
bring
who
it back.
voted
I just
in
wanna
the
be sure everybody's
affirmative can
clear.
bring
The
it back.
motion.
And I'll make such recommendation, if there was an error or an omission that provided you incorrect information, that determination, I'll make the recommendation that somebody who voted in the affirmative needs to bring this back. I will clearly provide an avenue to bring this back if in fact there was an error.
Thank you, Al.
Would someone please introduce 6C1? By the non-routine items, 61.
I'll introduce 6C1, City Manager Evaluation.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
It's not even-
I don't think she's here.
Well, I just turned mine into the clerk's office at the beginning of this meeting, so I apologize.
And I have So, Melissa is the only one that will be presenting, right? She's not here?
Well,
She's here?
she,
Oh, I didn't see you, I'm sorry, Melissa.
Melissa Arriaga, Director of Human Resources. My apologies. Normally, you all just have a conversation. I did provide the evaluations that were provided to me prior to the meeting. I hadn't received Commissioner Peterson's yet, and excuse me. So it's inclusive of Commissioner Cannell's evaluation, Commissioner Reisman's evaluation, City Manager's evaluation as well. I did not put an overall rating because I didn't have all of the Commissioner's evaluations. However, any conversations that you'd like to have regarding the City Manager's performance in the evaluation process, by all means.
Anyone have any comments or anything concerned?
My evaluation's out there for everybody to see.
Okay. And mine is still pending, but I'm okay.
No, I don't have that turn, mine's turned in.
Yeah, mine's turned in and they're public records.
I have no comments.
Okay. Thank you very much. Your information has been collected, and it will be part of the City Manager's evaluation in his file. Thank you.
no, you're done. You're good.
As we go on for information reports. City Attorney items,
No reports this evening, thank you.
City Manager items,
No reports?
roll call, please.
Commissioner Connell,
Nothing.
Commissioner Berry,
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Peterson,
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Reisman.
I just want to give congratulations to the Leesburg Lightning. They were the league's champions. Coach Billings Jr. and Senior were the Junior was the head coach. They brought the championship title back to Leesburg again this year. The team worked really hard. Pat Thomas was packed at every game. It's crazy how packed it was, and that is a great family atmosphere, so I want to thank the city for that partnership. And also, I had the chance of attending the chamber breakfast for the teacher appreciation this last week, along with Commissioner Burry and Commissioner Peterson, and a huge congratulations to the chamber for that great event, honoring all of our teachers and everything they do for our community. So that'll be it. Thank you.
Mayor Berry.
Yes, I have some comments, please. I'd like to thank the community for coming out earlier tonight to share their concerns and comments. It's so important for the commission to hear everyone's views and concerns. The issue is one that I feel 200% have and will continue to support, as stated in our July 13th meeting, to advocate for. City Attorney Grant, we had some research that you had to do. Would you like sharing any of the information that you found?
Sure. Sure. Yeah, so I looked into the issue. There was some possible concern about whether the new DEI law that Florida had passed would have some issues with designating Juneteenth as a city holiday. There is a carve-out for federally designated holidays. Juneteenth is clearly a federally designated holiday. So if the city were to designate Juneteenth as a holiday, it would not have a problem under Florida's new DEI law.
Thank you, thank you. So just based on the comments tonight that we've heard, I understand you're going to meet with, will that be just a private meeting, or will we bring back the?
Every meeting I do is a public meeting, so,
Well, I was just
although
asking.
if there's more than one commissioner there, we'll need to advertise it. So
That's what I was
if-
thinking.
If there's members of the commission who wants to attend, please let me know, ASAP.
I don't need to attend the meeting, but I do have a comment since it was brought back up on that. Is when this was discussed, the proposal was to add basically two holidays at the time, if I recall correctly, New Year's Eve and the Friday of Bike Fest. I understand Bike Fest is logistically, it's a problem because anybody who works downtown can't really work that day. The rest of the city does work. It becomes work four days a week, 10 hours, take a vacation day. If you're downtown because the offices are closed. I think Melissa got up during that meeting and basically said that based on the additional two holidays we were giving, that put us right at the top of any city in the county as far as the amount of holidays. So I don't necessarily have a major preference what holidays we give, but I do think we should cap it at no more than two. I think Mr. Griffin said tonight Put it to a vote of the employees. Give them the three choices and let them pick the two they want. If we want to move that route, I said, I don't really care what 2 holidays we give them, but I don't think we can add another one on top of the 2 that's already been awarded. So, have the meeting and everything else, but my preference is, as Mr. Griffin pointed out tonight, put it to a citywide vote as far as the employees go and let them pick the 2 they would prefer to have.
Well, based on,
I was about to bring up a comment, and I appreciate your comments entirely. I want to just clarify for the audience who I feel like was a little bit unfriendly, how this came about. We approved as a commission, I don't even know if we formally approved it. It came up in budget, and all we talked about was we talked about the Bike Fest, we talked about New Year's Eve. After the commission gave you, I don't know if it was a motion or gave you the nod, looking at our city manager, then the mayor brought up this, kind of after the fact. I think that's important to understand. It's not like we had this big debate on New Year's versus, Juneteenth. It was brought up after the fact. And I don't really, I guess my position is, if we are going to, the employees, I welcome their input if that's what the commission wants to do. But if we do go to Juneteenth, we're going to drop New Year's Eve. We were generous and offered 2 more holidays in budget, and I'm not going to consider a third.
well, based on the comments that I heard tonight from the community, and I also want to reflect that on the July 13th meeting, I brought up the holiday based on the thought process that I put into place. It wasn't an after-the-fact thing. It was basically understanding there was a federal, let me finish, please. It was a federal holiday, and it has been, as Grant has stated, that it's not in reference to what I kind of thought or considered the reasons or the decisions was based on being inclusive and not anti-DEI, because that was the statement that was made. So I'm just asking that based on what we heard tonight and the fact that we'll still be in balance with 2 days if it relates to the budget, right? With, like you just said, we approve 2 days. So the recommendation that you're suggesting, or you just suggested, Commissioner Peterson
And Commissioner Cannell.
and Cannell, that is being one, with the Bike Fest having to be one of our issues administratively, could we bring it back to consider if the commission would like to consider the New Year's Eve?
I would rather put it to the employees. I mean, we'll give you 2 holidays. Here's your 3 choices. Pick 2 of them.
Okay.
Well, we're not letting them pick Bike Fest. I think that was a staff decision, so it would be, I mean,
I would agree with you on that, Mike.
I think it would be New Year's versus Juneteenth. I mean, if
yes.
they want to put that to the staff to vote.
I would agree.
And I don't want to be bound by it, but I'd like to know what they think.
Bike Fest is an administrative problem.
Yeah, yes.
So, yes, I would agree. So put the 2 out and they can pick one.
You put the caveat on Bike Fest, too.
Yes, and if Bike Fest goes away.
Right.
It's
already in there.
That really makes the Bike Fest.
That's my next question.
Sure,
So if
yes.
Bike Fest is to be continued and it's we are profitable, we'll continue. But if it's not, we lose that day as well as Bike Fest, correct? That goes away. So we'll be
Employees
back
lose
at
that holiday.
one holiday?
If Bike Fest goes away, the employees
So
lose
that
that
makes
holiday.
us back at one holiday.
So I would say put the New Year's Eve and Juneteenth on the ballot for the employees. Let them pick which one they want. No matter which one they pick, if Bike Fest goes away, then we can revisit on possibly changing it out for the holiday that didn't get the popular vote of the city employees.
And I agree.
I agree with that.
Well, I'm good with that. I just would like to bring back, because I thought it was important that we heard the research that Attorney Grant provided, and I think that would help understand where I was coming from as well. I, again, think this is very important, and I stand firmly on it, but I agree to disagree, and I agree with the votes that the commission has. So whatever we decide, this will be a good move. Thank you.
And my comments were not meant as an attack on you, Mayor. My comments were really directed at the audience to understand how this process went down. They think we sat here and debated, Martin Luther or Juneteenth versus New Year's and just ignored Juneteenth, and it was really just kind of after. You brought it up afterward, after we'd already voted on it, et cetera. So that was just for clarification purposes. But good discussion. Thank you.
That's it for me then. Thank you all. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.